2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Ian Walsh here, Hard Money Bankers. Normally I'm joined with one of my partners who might be coming on today, but we figured we'd be doing this show with somebody who really resonates in our particular investment space in doing a lot in the DC area, but moved into quite a few other markets, including recently the North Carolina market, doing a whole bunch of short sales in her career. Thank you, Rebecca Ravera. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. So usually we just talk about the marketplace and what we've been seeing, and a short sale expert is going to be a good one to touch base with here, because probably from I don't know, 2012 to 2020, short sale was no longer the hot item or the hot, target. But now I think there's been like an uptick lately. What have you been seeing in the market from the short sale perspective?
I've been seeing a lot more short sales coming on the market. So typically my team, we take in about 3 to 4 short sales a week from different investors, from different avenues of lead generation. And we are averaging about 8 short sales a week now. So we're currently working on about 150 of them throughout my 2 companies. And it is getting more and more common now, which I'm excited for. I'm excited to see. 2012 to 2020, we were still doing a significant amount of short sales because people are always going to lose their jobs, get divorced, pass away. But we have, it's getting pretty crazy now, which is awesome.
What's causing the uptick? Do you see? Is it the interest rates? People just can't afford them and they're stretching, or what's going on?
Well, what I'm seeing is that if somebody has even just the most minor repair, like people are out of credit right now. They have used as much credit as they possibly can. And a lot of these homeowners don't have cash available. So if there's a roof leak, if there's this, if there's that, they can't repair it. And then they just end up stop paying. That's really what we're seeing most of our short sales in their properties that do have damage, that do have work. Also a lot of divorces I'm seeing lately too.
Okay. I'm going to pause you right there because I have Josh who just joined us. Josh, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing? Ian, Rebecca, it's nice to see you here. I did not want to miss this. I was actually on the phone with somebody that is going through a foreclosure, and I told her I had to get off the phone because I wanted to talk to you. How you doing?
Talk to an expert on foreclosure.
Good. How are you? Yeah, I'd love to talk to her. We can hop on a 3-way call with her after if you want.
That's what I'm saying. That's great.
So Josh, interestingly enough, I was just talking to Rebecca about like the uptick in the short sale space right now, and she just said right before you came on that they were averaging 3 to 4 a week, and all of a sudden they're up to 8 a week. So they've effectively doubled their amount of short sales that they're doing. Homeowners are out of cash, and I feel like this entire market, housing market, retail market, commercial market, stock market, all markets are at this tipping point right now. And a good indication of that are going to be things like short sales, car repos. Like when you start looking at stuff like that, those are the real bloodlines, the real tells on what's the average American running into right now. So, and Rebecca's having a major uptick in her business. What do you think is going to happen next? Like, do you see any kind of like catastrophic moment coming here now, Rebecca? Or do you think like steady as it goes? What are you thinking?
So I expected a crash a few years ago, and then
I think we all did.
So I'm just waiting for this crash to happen. And being in the short sale business, like we love a good recession. So I don't want to speculate on what's going to happen in the market because I don't think there's going to be a crash like there was in 2008. But I see that just a lot of people are running out of money. A lot of people are running out of credit. And with interest rates so high, they just can't afford to keep up. We're also seeing a lot of lingering from the forbearances. So like a lot of our clients are more than 60 months behind on payments, 70 months behind on payments. We have a client that's 10 years behind that has never been foreclosed on. So, and then we have one that's like a year behind and there's a foreclosure sale date. So it's really all over the place. And where we get a lot of our business are from real estate investors, because when they're doing their cold calling, their marketing, all of that, and they come across somebody that's, underwater or in this position, they'll reach out to us and then we'll work together to try to get it situated. And there's a lot of investors that we have worked with for years. I've been doing real estate for 16 years, 14 years, specifically short sales. I'm seeing a lot of newer investors too coming across these homeowners that are in this situation also. So it's definitely getting more and more common now.
That's I mean, I remember there was a couple guys up in our space that are, and there's still one that's heavily brands himself in the short sale space. And I kept thinking for quite some time, man, he can't, he's still looking for the dream of the 2008, scenario. Because there were people, if you were in this for 14 years. So the 2008 world, there was the short sale game was peaking. It was incredible, right?
Yeah.
Obviously that couldn't last forever because everybody can't lose their house, right? But you run into a situation where things had to stabilize, because now you have scenarios where people were paying, buying houses twice, 2 to 3 times the price that they really should have been buying, because money was so easy to get in the last few years. And now you're starting to see, like you just said, the forbearances and stuff like that coming through. So I don't know if it's the start of the movement again, but there is a rebalancing. There's a need for inventory in the market desperately. So the market's going to balance itself. And I think what we're about to see here is that continued uptick in short sales. A lot of our clients that we work with all of our clients are investors. It's all who we work with. I don't know I've seen a few short sales come through, but I haven't seen how long has it been upticking from 4 to 8? How long have you doubled that? Last 6 months, last year, last 2 weeks?
Honestly, the last 2 months is when we've been seeing a crazy uptick in things. I don't know if there's just different marketing tactics. I don't know if foreclosure sale dates are now getting scheduled in a lot of properties. So homeowners are calling and freaking out saying, oh my God, I'm going to lose my home. But it's been about 2 months. February was our slowest month in short sale intake, which isn't unusual because it's the end of winter. It's going into everything. But yeah, the last 2 months, it's just been a lot. I've seen it increase a little bit, 1 here, 2 there over the last 2 years. But definitely the rise of interest rates has made a huge difference, because when interest rates were so low, people could pay more for homes, right? And now the interest rates being so high, it's adjusting the market. It's a self-correction. And now all these people that have paid so much money for their homes, they're getting into a little bit of trouble.
And they can't get are you finding people can't get, are they putting their house on the market and really just not getting what they need to get for it? Is that, I know technically with a short sale, they're supposed to put it on the market and then they're supposed to wait and so forth. But are you finding people are really underwater? The market won't give it to them?
A couple of people have tried to go on the market first, a couple of our clients, but for the most part, it's people that really just haven't done anything. When somebody's 2 months behind on their mortgage, that 2-month mark makes it really difficult to start catching up. Because if your mortgage payment is $1,500 a month and you can't pay it, how are you going to pay $3,000 and then that $1,500 for the following month, right? So once people are 2 months behind, that's when things are getting really, really tough, and they just stick their head in the sand. And I don't blame them. I mean, I get it; they're losing their American dream, but the mortgage companies are sometimes taking years to foreclose. So people are just oh, I'm just going to wait. But time's running out. So now they can't afford to wait anymore.
Which states are really opening up? I know you're in multiple states. For those that watching, what you mentioned the states before the show to me, which states are you guys in right now?
So my listing business for the short sales, from a lot of investors, that's mainly Maryland, but I have a second short sale negotiation company, and we also handle DC, Virginia, Pennsylvania, and we just got our first North Carolina short sale too.
And which states are you seeing, where are you seeing it specifically open up from the forbearances, or just what sections of your space right now are the courts are starting to push things through?
So it's really more the type of loan than it is the So like we're seeing a lot of FHA foreclosures. VA foreclosures are on hold for a little bit right now. There's a lot of private conventional loans where they're smaller joint ventures and they're starting to foreclose on properties. So all over Maryland, yeah. We have, I don't know if people knew that I was doing Pennsylvania before I announced it on Facebook, but as soon as I said, "Hey, we just got our first Pennsylvania short sale closed," I got 6 more. So I don't know if it was just people didn't know or if that market is also opening up as well.
So
Nice. I think it's really cool that, like, Josh and I had built, probably around the same time you were building your first short sale business, we were building a property management company. And we found that, looking back on it, I'm sure he would agree with me that, like, there was just the market built the business for us. We were just happened to be there because,
Right.
like, we didn't know any different at the time. We were like, we would send out some marketing pieces, and then, like, all of a sudden, like 20 new clients would just like come in the door. And you're like, wow, this is so easy. But the reality was we were just sitting in the timing of a market that needed to be built, and we were the ones there to play catch. And it sounds like you've been through two, like, coming on your second cycle, so you're probably ready for that feel. And I don't know,
Correct.
is it, that Pennsylvania scenario to me sounds like you go into Pennsylvania and you have one, now you have 6. Is it that kind of feel where it just like things are just coming to you now? Is that going on?
They are just coming and they're coming from all over the place. Different investors who I haven't had the opportunity to meet yet are calling me with short sale opportunities. I think that because there's so little inventory, people are doing a lot of creative marketing in the investor space and it's reaching a lot of different people. And that's really where that's all coming from. It's just different creative marketing.
So
Okay.
can I
Yeah. Go
jump
ahead,
in here?
Josh. Yeah.
I got a question about the market because you said you've really seen an uptick in the last 2 months. And, I'm in central PA where, during 2008, where everybody else was seeing 20, 30, 50% reductions in property values, central PA saw a 3% reduction in property values, and I know it's a very, I don't know, protected
Stable.
market. It didn't jump, as much as the other markets did. But now what I've seen is areas where you had one house in a town on the market, for like a half hour and it was sold. Now there's 15 properties listed and, and they're not terribly priced, but they're not moving, not in the time frame that you would have seen. And this is kind of a new thing. Ian and I kind of saw some of this happening, I guess, last August. It was like kind of the beginning of it in a bunch of different markets. But do you think that, well, I mean, I guess you touched on it in that people just don't have the money, right? Like they're getting squeezed all over the place. Whereas in 2008, we saw property values dropping because there wasn't funding necessarily, and things were kind of collapsing there. What kind of volume are you seeing? You said you had 4 new applications. From what I've seen on the numbers, like the volume hasn't changed all that much. You know what I mean? Like we might have doubled in volume, but it's still at pretty low rates. Do you foresee this increasing in the coming months, coming into the summer, like just from the types of borrowers that you're looking at, I guess?
Yeah. So it's a weird situation because I also, I'm a realtor, so I also handle standard regular listings. And when I put something on the market, it goes pretty quickly, right? Because there is no inventory, which you don't usually have like a seller market like this and then short sales go on an uptick as well. We are handling about 150 short sales right now between the two companies. We have a team. I have 7 employees that work with me right now. And honestly, I don't know what's going on. I'm very surprised because I'll put something on the market and it'll go in a day, and then I'm getting 8 short sales in a week. So I really think it's a lot of lingering from COVID, forbearances, and like just people running out of money. Like, have you bought eggs recently? It's $5 a carton, in case you were wondering. It used to be 99 cents. So like everything except for income is all going up. And like, I know that I'm feeling it. I'm sure you guys aren't, and everybody else is. And a lot of people are, many people aren't self-employed to where they kind of control their income and they can make more and make less. Like, so it's a lot of and I'm seeing a lot of like elderly people on fixed incomes too, because Social Security at $1,200 a month is not going to cover anything when you're paying $5 a carton for eggs.
Yeah.
So it's exactly that. Like everything is going up except for income.
Yeah, the inflation factor is real. I'm currently our lease is coming up on my car, so I'm like back in the market to like look at cars, and I'm like, oh, we'll just get another one of these. And I'm like, I went to the dealership and they're like, oh, it's twice the price. I'm like, I mean, literally twice. What's that?
It's mind blowing.
So I was like, this speaks perfectly to the rest of the market because, like you said, a $5.99 carton of eggs, it's still $5.99. So you don't notice it as much. Your gross bill might be a lot, but when you start to hit like bigger ticket items like a car, and you go, there's no way I'm paying that much money. Like I'm not doing it. I refuse. I'm refusing to pay that much money for it. So then you have to get a different car that's like a lower brand or something. And I'm like, this is also where the housing market is. I was like, so if we're 40% over where I was 2 years ago in a car, and you really feel it, right? Because you go from, if you're paying $600-700 a month for a car, and you go back to the dealership and they go, now it's $1,200 or $1,300. You go, whoa,
Right.
That's a real number. That's not just like
that's rent,
Yeah.
rent. So, that kind of stuff it has to take its hold in the marketplace, and you're going to see it more than ever on housing. So that means a $600,000 house, it has to be short sale because at some point you're only going to get $400,000 for that house that was $600,000. There's no other option but short selling. Like you can't get close on that. You're not going to get a $200,000 bidding war. It's just not going to happen. And if it's there on cars right now, that means it's there on houses. It just lags the car industry a little bit. So I think short sales are about to be super hot again. It sounds like you're already doing quite a bit of business. So I think your business, even though 150 is a large number right now, that could be a small number in 6 months from now. That really could be. And I guess you guys, to do 150 short sales, you have to have a pretty good operation in place. You have some good team.
I have the best team.
The best, yeah.
They are amazing. We have 2 people that all they do Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 is called the mortgage companies, and like make sure there's no foreclosure dates. They got everything, like harass them. As soon as they're at the end of the list, they start back up. I personally will go to every BPO and appraisal for the short sale in Maryland, DC, and Pennsylvania. At least if I'm notified for it, but I'm there with comps, contractor estimates, supporting documentation. Like we're fighting for the short sale to go through. There's also going to be a lot of foreclosures in a few months. And let me tell you why. So FHA loans, they used to be pretty lenient on their guidelines and their qualifications. And they have now been incredibly strict. The property, in order to do a short sale for an FHA mortgage, the property must be in marketable condition. And of course, marketable condition is just the words used on the appraisal. So that's why it's super important to go there. So be like, no, we got to make it marketable. But also FHA used to have a little bit more leeway on how far behind they are on the mortgage. Now, if a homeowner is 50 months or more behind on the mortgage, FHA will outright deny it. The only other option FHA has is to foreclose on the property. So we lost, I think, probably 7 or 8 short sales in the last 2 months, strictly because FHA denied them because of the length of time that they've been behind on their mortgage or the condition of the property. So you will also see a large uptick of foreclosures, specifically FHA and VA, because VA is on hold right now. They're releasing it, I believe, in June. You're going to see a lot of foreclosures coming on the market soon.
So I think that's the perfect way here to kind of end the show in terms of what to expect. So this is going to go out in the next few weeks to a large distribution list, so people will see this. I just want to mark the date for anybody watching. It's May 15th. So by what I'm hearing here is there's a little bit of a tell in the marketplace that Rebecca's giving everybody, saying like, I would say July, August, September, the word short sale might be a household name again if people are wondering. So I don't really know what the tell is going to do for anybody, because if you're going to be in a short sale, unfortunately you're going to be in a short sale. It is what it is.
Right.
But it does seem to be adding up to, on the show, we've gone through this flow of from when interest rates first changed, we were having people on, talking about the adapting to that. Then the interest rates changed and there was a washout in the industry. Now we're starting to reach back to the point of a full shift again. And I think this might be one of the first shows that we've had that's kind of giving the market space a tell of what's to come. So the crystal ball is predicting potentially August, maybe September, something like that, where things could get a little bit hairy. Is that what you're seeing? Is that would you put that on your fake record here? Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely do see that happening. And it's not only just mortgages too. We're seeing a lot of people with judgments, liens, IRS. If there's an IRS judgment against the property, we do all of that. So it doesn't just have to be mortgage short sales. People are underwater because of third-party situations that attach to the property as well. So
awesome.
Definitely keep an eye out for all of those.
Well, this is really good insight, really good to know. Obviously, your business is able to handle quite a bit of volume. So I know a lot of our clients and anybody watching, there's a ton of investors watch this show. If they're in the business or they're looking for somebody that handles short sales and isn't going to fumble it because they have a strong operation running, you can't have 150 short sales in play messing up. You have to be doing things right in order to get to that point. So if anybody that has been looking to get in touch with Rebecca, her email has been scrolling on the bottom. So Rebecca at Ravera homesales.com. Rebecca, is there a number that people can also reach out to?
Absolutely. Our office number is 443-844-1446. You can send me Facebook messages, smoke signals, text messages, anything that you can get a hold of us. We can absolutely help you. And one of our big things is we try to answer every phone call that comes in when it comes in, which a lot of people don't do nowadays. So that's definitely reach out to us. We will help you. And even if it's something that we can't help you with, we'll walk you through it. We'll do whatever we need to do to at least get you the answers or clarification on anything. But yeah, give us a call. We're here. I'm happy to help anything you guys need. And I do see a lot more coming on the market soon. So if you haven't seen them now, when you do come across one, just give us a call and we'll hold your hand. We'll walk you through everything.
Awesome. Thank you, Rebecca. You guys have a great day.
Thank you guys so much.